But I have a feeling that President Trump has a deal with the Russians and the Chinese. And the deal is they take out Kim Jong-un, and they can keep North Korea, just get rid of this crazy leader, stop the nuclear process. And you know what, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Russians have moved their army up to the North Korean border. And the Chinese, I think they're fed up also. You know, there's a big problem now in North Korea. There's some kind of a plague, and people are dying in tremendous numbers in North Korea. And I think also that the Chinese are very concerned because a lot of the radioactivity from the mountain where they do their tests, radioactivity is going into China. And so I think the Chinese have a very strong self-interest in working with Russia, working with President Trump. So the U.S. Navy, the 3 aircraft carrier groups are off the coast of Korea. But I don't think it's the Americans that are going to do it. I may be wrong. America could finish off the North Korean military in one day. But I'll say one thing, if the Russians and the Chinese come in, you will not see North Koreans launching missiles. Thank you, sweetie. The globalists are going to look for ways to terminate Putin in order to get Russia to join the European Union and Ukraine to join the European Union. So on the surface, isn't it wonderful that there's peace, but I don't see the Russians pulling out of eastern Ukraine. I'm very afraid for President Trump, and I ask that we all pray for him, that God give him a long life and good health, that he can continue serving the Lord. Because I see President Trump as the arm of the Lord doing God's work. And Netanyahu has his own problems of corruption, investigations, and scandals in Israel. I don't know where that's all going. Egypt has promised to back Saudi in a war with Iran. And the Saudis, want Egypt because Saudi Arabia is only 17 million, Iran is 70 million. So if the Egyptians come in, they will defend Saudi, but then Iran has promised they're going to nuke the Aswan Dam in Egypt. Now, if you nuke the Aswan Dam, if you breach the dam, all that water from Lake Nasser floods the Nile Valley, and the Egyptians are going to have exactly half an hour and a half to flee to the high ground on either side of the river. And so the world is going to be facing a scenario in which 100 million Egyptians are going to be without food and water, and either the world supplies them enough water and food for 100 million people every day, or these people are going to be taken to different countries and resettled for 40 years. After 40 years, the Egyptians can come home. But when America goes from 30 million today to 50 million to 100 million Muslims in America, if the Christian churches do not have a revival, this country will be overrun by the Muslims. And it has nothing to do with President Trump or anyone else. This is a momentum of Bible prophecies being fulfilled as in our lifetimes, I believe. But what I am saying is I do believe at some stage the globalists are going to ban Islam because these Muslims are going to carry out terrorist attacks, kill millions of people, blow up the oil wells, and the globalists simply cannot tolerate that. So it's a crazy scenario. I recommend to all of you, like with Y2K, survivalists, have water in sufficient quantities in your homes, have food, be ready to survive such a crazy scenario. And I think Israel will be relatively blessed. Israel will be relatively under God's hand. But the Messiah is not far away. I think Islam will be defeated. Islam will be banned. Then the Antichrist is not from Islam. The Antichrist is from the globalists. But what I am saying is I do believe that Islam will be banned. I do believe when Islam is banned, that Israel will be commanded to build the third temple. And at that time, the globalist one world government is going to send in their Antichrist to represent their, the globalist system. So we're living in exciting times, isn't it exciting to live in a time before the coming of the Messiah? Or the return of the Messiah? And then we will all know. So God bless everyone. Keep your chin up. And be prepared. Be prepared. God bless you all.